All right, welcome everybody to another session of Whispers in the Woods. I don't think I have any bookkeeping to do before we start. Started another Soul Forge because the other one was full. So there's now a Soul Forge too. If anyone didn't get in on the first forge, then you can be in on the second batch. But people who are already in the first one, I would like it if you are not in the second one, with the exception of Luna because of content sharing. Um, but yeah, so if anyone didn't get in on that first go through, just let me know. Some of you might not even know what the Soul Forge is. Actually, I'm realizing.
I have no idea what the Soul Forge is.
Or Forge.
It's basically just an empty placeholder campaign. Kind of like how on D&D Beyond you guys go to your Whispers in the Woods campaign. It's just an empty one for people that play with me, where they can use it basically to make any sort of like mock characters that you have the intention of placing in my world eventually. Basically just allows you to use the homebrew stuff from my world to make your characters, because if you wanted to like sort of test run some characters or do a bit of character design on D&D Beyond, you can do so in your own characters, but you won't have access to my homebrew races and stuff like that. So the Soul Forge is just a place where you can throw characters that you want to use those homebrew races on and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
For the time being, if you have an intention to eventually use them. So if that interests anybody, just message me on Discord and I will send you the link. Other than that, there's our. There you go. If that ever stops working, that Discord link, just let me know in the chat. Because I've set it to be limited, so it will eventually stop working. And other than that, let's get back into it. Yeah, it's character purgatory, basically. So, previously on Whispers in the Woods, the party was headed a little bit north, but they had to take a bit of a detour after they committed a felony in a small town, which required them to then skip town quickly, and they headed in the wrong direction. Came to realize a little too late that they were headed in sort of the wrong direction than they intended, and ended up having to sort of take the long way around to get where they were eventually trying to go, which was a little more north. Above the swamps to the north is a large stretch of forest, where they learned that the city that they are intending to visit, Sindriel, was located. And so the detour they took required them to cross the inner sea, a large, slightly saltwater lake on the inside of the continent. So they managed to catch a ride on a boat last session and hop into the water and fight off some jellyfish before making their way safely to shore. After making their way to shore, they began to head through the forest a little bit north, and eventually found an old abandoned camp where they decided to sleep for the night, in which Sybil had a dream, but you can go back and watch that session if you want more context on that dream. And they encountered a strange somebody who seemed to know a little bit more about Sybil's dream, though he was a little bit cryptic. Oh, I was talking about the other somebody. But yes, there was a 15-handed somebody too. That was in the dream. So after waking up, they continued their journey north. Yeah, it was more like 17. But the reason they're heading north is in pursuit of a band of assassins who had placed a hit on their heads. With the party not really understanding exactly why they did so. All they know is that it might be related to the strange sigils on the back of each of their hands. So after encountering one of the assassins and his sort of bandit crew in the swamp, they killed him and didn't get too much information from him, but they did find an old note in his lair that they managed to decipher, which mentioned that another one of the assassins was doing some business kind of north in near Lysindria, which is why they're headed there, and also that he was meeting, as you put it, a client up there earlier in time, who he mentioned was female, but that's about it. So they're heading north to Lysindriel in pursuit of both the assassin and perhaps who this mysterious woman may be. But in between then, they ran into a strange black mold that seemed to be growing on some of the trees. And mostly managed to avoid it, not wanting to deal too much with it after they tried to scrape some off a tree and it began to melt some of the dagger that they were scraping it off with. But eventually they came across a strange-looking girl who seemed to be injured in a similar manner to the sort of burning that black mold was doing. And Sybil managed to heal the girl, who expressed her thanks and explained that their confusion as to what she might have been, as she was a little bit unusual, is that she was a Limsa, which was a new race that I had added to the living world. And so, as a bit of a thanks, and since they were headed north anyway, the Limsa girl, Miria, invited them back to her village on the way. And so that was where the party was headed, following closely behind her as they made their way to Miria's village. And I believe where we left off, Miria had just done a little check-in with someone who was standing guard out in front of the town, and assured the guard that it didn't mean any harm.
Oh, Miria. Notice for a couple minutes, they don't mean any harm.
That's what Jellycap thought too.
We don't talk about Jellycap anymore.
Man.
And so where we return, is Miria sort of motioning you guys. All right, it's safe. We can go forward now. It's just beyond this hill here. And begins to
Yes,
limp her way
alright.
off to the north.
It's not like we've been walking for hours already. Just gonna follow along, not too concerned about watching out for enemies, just kind of looking around slightly.
All right. I see it's a slow roll 20 day. Those are always fun.
Dude, it was straight up dying for me last night. I don't know what's going on.
All right, copy and paste seems to be moving a little slow, so we're going to manually drag everybody in. That's fun.
Low 20.
All right, so following Miria along, you eventually kind of pass in between some trees and get a good view of the village before you. It's sort of built along one big stretch of clearing within these woods. And you can kind of see a makeshift trampled down dirt path in the center of it all, with several straw huts off to your left and off to your right. A bit down the ways you can see a river with a sort of lashed together wooden bridge that crosses it. And Miria kind of continues to limp off into the village as she says, well, this is it. Welcome to Thistle Creek.
Quite lovely.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Before you can see several other people who match the description of Miria. Humanoid with some minor differences. The woman off to your right seems to just be doing some housework, cleaning up. Looks a bit like Miria, different hair color and sort of floppier ears, and slightly older, but clearly a Limsa as well. She sort of has a surprised look on her face when she notices that Miria is not arriving alone, and makes her way over to your group and says, Miria, you've brought company, I see. Nice to meet you all.
Hi.
Hello.
Pleasure.
Shy little wings.
Nice to meet you.
Well, my name is Willow Wildear. I'm, I suppose you could say the chief of the village. What brings you through these parts? It's not often we get visitors.
We're moving north to Lysindriel, but there was a little bit of trouble in the woods concerning some kind of black mold in there.
I see. And then she sort of turns her attention to Miria. Are you injured, dear? Here, come inside. Let's sit down. Noticing her rather severe-looking limp.
We tried healing her, but if you need to put her down, we can assist.
Raven! No!
What?
God.
I'm just trying to help.
Oh God.
I'm no medical expert, but I don't think a injured leg is enough to put someone down.
That's how it works with horses.
They aren't fucking horses, Draven.
Yes, but the animal people.
You want me to
Marcos,
put you down the
Oh,
next time you
God.
break your ankle?
Can we all keep a low voice, please?
Look, let's make one thing clear before we go any further. Do we respect animal people?
I'm respecting the bunnies.
Yes.
I
No.
respect the
Will's
bunnies.
kind of an animal person.
I just
Listen,
wanted to be
the
clear. I mean, we
The
killed
orc
that
is telling
cat.
you we respect. We respect. The orc is telling you to respect. So therefore we
Okay,
respect.
so we don't respect cats, though.
No, fuck that cat.
Look.
All right,
Like,
just making it clear.
You want to continue that as a trend?
Fuck that cat. The cat deserved it. The cat was evil.
I really don't
You're
think
like a
you
pretty
was.
good guy.
We murder evil things. That's what we do here.
I think you escalated. But,
No, you know what? It was late that night, and I kind of went a little crazy. But cat was evil. Don't kill the fucking bunnies.
you all-
Oh, thank you, Russ.
You all
Mardos.
can come in if you want.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be a long fucking day.
There's a cat in the hut, and Mardos just goes berserk.
Immediately goes into rage.
Not even like a cat person, like just a normal cat.
Cat. I fucking hate cats now.
All right. So Willow sort of helps Miria limp her way into the hut, inviting you all to follow after. And inside the hut, it is not a massive home, rather humble, but well put together. You can see sort of wood carved furniture throughout.
This is lovely.
And Willow helps Miria over to one of the chairs so that she can sit down. And Miria says, well, you can have a seat as well. I know there's only one chair, but you can sit on the bed too, I suppose.
That's a little bit too forward for me, but I will sit on this comfy looking carpet.
All right.
Thank you so much.
The door frame suits me.
Draven's always an asshole. Don't mind Draven. He's a cool, mysterious guy.
He likes leaning
With a
against
back.
walls.
It's part of his vibes.
That's literally my backstory.
It's a reputation to maintain.
It's just gonna sit on the carpet too, or the rug, rather.
All right. The carpet consumes all of you as a mimic. I win.
I knew it.
You tell me you rolled a perception roll, like right before. We just didn't see it.
All right. So helping Miria to sit down, Willow turns her attention back to you all and says, now, Lysindriel, you said. Why exactly are you headed there? They don't get many visitors either.
Following a lead.
That doesn't sound mysterious at all.
Can we trust them?
I don't know. They seem like they just didn't even want to show anyone their existence until now. So
We are looking for some work acquaintances. Big business up in here, you know? We're expanding.
Oh, I see. What's your business?
I wish I could fucking tell you, because I don't know. That's why I'm wearing this.
Securing routes for merchants.
That's part of it, yes.
Oh, a merchant route to Lysindriel. That's unusual.
You ever been through the swamp? They kind of needed it. They needed it, okay? There's a giant toad. Don't go there.
Certainly hope you're not planning on routing any merchant paths through this village.
Or not.
We are not we do have concerns about that black mold.
Yeah.
Well, you take this away. You got this. That was weird.
Yes, you mentioned this black mold. That was what injured our Miria.
Mhm. doesn't act a lot like normal mold or normal plants for that matter. I borrowed Draven's dagger to try to get a sample of it, and it started corroding, melting the dagger. It's either extremely corrosive or just generally bad news. I don't know what it is or if it's spreading as a like disease for the forest, but in general, like, I suppose you should look at that.
Yes, this is the first time hearing of it, and it does sound worrying, to say the least.
Most definitely worrying. I don't know if it's like growing, but other trees have it too. Like, there wasn't just one tree. There was like, what? There was like 3, 4 trees that had it on there.
Yeah, thanks. Some of them were worse off than others. We encountered one tree that was pretty much totally overtaken by it. And Miria, did you say one of them, like, moved towards you?
Yes, I went to investigate some of the mold that I saw in the tree, and it sort of bubbled almost, and it lashed out at me, and that's how I got this. It just kind of points, more directing this at Willow to explain her injury.
You don't have any idea what the mold could be? Like, any idea?
No, it was the first that I've seen it.
Oh, great. A new problem. Oh.
We're known to come across this.
Hmm.
Well, suppose it might
anyone...
be. Go ahead.
Sorry. Would anyone in the town perhaps be more experienced with plant life than you, Willow?
Well, to be honest, I would say our Miria here. But if she hasn't seen any of it, then I suppose you can ask around. Perhaps Briar would know. He does do a decent amount of foraging in the woods surrounding here. But if none of us, then I would say ask the elves of Lysindria when you make your way there.
Understood.
Well, in the meantime, you should probably look into ways of, if it is spreading, controlling it, I suppose.
I
You
wouldn't
don't
know
want
where.
that getting close to the village.
I wouldn't know where to start.
We just get your people to watch out for it and make sure not to come in contact.
You could try burning the
Just
trees.
monitor it.
Burning the trees? No, we couldn't do that.
I don't think you should do that anyways. I don't think burning spores would be a good idea.
Yeah, burning it doesn't sound... It sounds like it could make the problem worse.
Yeah, that was just like airborne.
I'm afraid I'm not very familiar with controlling disease-spreading plants. But if it gets worse, do you have contact with the elves at Lysindriel yourselves?
The occasional trade for pelts and some food, but it's not often.
How far of a travel is it from here to there?
Not terribly far, but one must know where to look, I suppose.
What's that mean?
Well, the Wood Elves of Lysindriel, they're not one for company, I suppose. The entrance to the city itself is well guarded.
Oh. That might be a problem.
Just a
Why?
quick question. Yeah, what are they guarding the city from?
Well, the
Is there
entrance.
a tree?
What did you say? What are they guarding it from?
Yes.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't really know. I suppose any sort of creatures out there in the woods that they don't want wreaking havoc inside the city. I suppose bandits as well, trying to sort of attack the city. But to tell you the truth, I don't really know. You'd have to ask them.
Have you had any people pass through here recently before us?
Recently, no. No one passes through here if we don't want them to.
Understood. About what time is it? I can't remember what time we left off on.
You woke up in the morning. At that abandoned camp, and then you didn't travel incredibly far, probably less than a couple hours. So I'd say it's probably just nearing midday.
Gotcha. Well, we are planning on continuing to Lysindriel. However, it wouldn't hurt to stop and get a bite to eat while we're here.
Oh, is there any ale in this town?
Ale?
No. It's-
She just kind of cocks her head, and one of her ears just kind of flicks.
He just holds out his flask. Yeah, this. You want to taste?
Alcohol. You have any alcohol?
No, I don't believe we do. She just kind of sniffs the flask and just turns her nose up. Yeah. No thanks, I'll pass. But Miria pipes up and says, I have some carrot and rhubarb pie here if you'd like some food.
Be you willing to share? We'd
No.
really appreciate that. Oh yeah, Draven doesn't like to eat his vegetables. I forgot.
Yeah, if you have maybe a dead animal or something, he'll like it. But
Even if it's, like nasty and froggy, he'll still take it. Gotcha.
We saw him eat a leech once.
you just kind of see them look at each other. No, I'm afraid we don't have anything like that here. You see, we Limsa, we don't eat any meat or anything like that.
Oh, Draven, it looks like you're going to have to go a couple meals without eating your favorite food. Are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah, fine.
Was that out loud, Draven, or just thinking?
Nah, it's good. Just kidding.
He's not kidding.
But Miria will begin to sort of slice up some of the pie for you all, and hand you out some pie if you want it on some hand carved plates made of wood.
I would definitely like some. I didn't partake in the pie eating contest earlier.
Go
Well,
for another pie. I'm gonna raise my hand.
help yourself. I can always make more for myself later.
Thank you.
cheers.
And Miria's holding it?
Yeah, just over here.
Okay.
Ugh.
Thank you.
It's the pie line.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
You help yourself to some of the pie, as Draven waits by the door.
I'll get my nourishment later.
And as you sort of begin to eat the carrot and rhubarb pie, Willow begins to just sort of talk to you through your full mouths, and says, "Well, if you are heading to Lysindriel, I suppose I can offer some advice. As the village chief, I'm the one who's probably been there the most." The entrance that I've always used to the city, it was a sort of long, winding staircase through a rock formation. So look for a wooden staircase built into the rocks. Though,
Alright,
Alright.
thank you. Oh.
though you may have some trouble locating it, as you head north, you'll find that you're set upon by a sort of a mist. It's harmless, so don't worry, but I suppose that's how you know you're in the right spot.
I see. How long does this mist last? How far?
Exact distance I couldn't say, but as long as you're near the city, on the outskirts, you will find yourself in this mist. And, well, as long as you're in the mist, I think it's safe to assume that there's probably a wood elf watching you somewhere.
I see. It's good to know.
And well, I can't speak for what will happen when you head north, but every time I've gone there, as soon as I made my way sort of into the misty section of the woods, I was always sort of approached by, well, they call themselves the Forest Guard. And, well, they're protectors of the city, you see. And they'll be the ones who will decide whether you're allowed access to the city or not. So I'd advise you to not be incredibly confrontational with them. If they require something of you, simply follow along.
You
Alright.
can do that.
I'm sure our Luna Elf friend here will make good friends with them.
Listen, I don't need any more friends. You all are more than enough.
Almost nicest thing you've
Aw.
ever said to us.
Aw. Thank you, Draven.
I think you mean the only nice thing he said to us.
I think so too. Oh,
He stood up and done other nice things.
like
He just
becoming
has a
friend.
reputation to maintain. Again.
I don't know. It's more like neutral things instead of nice things.
That one was kind of nice.
So around this time you finish up eating your slices of pie. It has sort of a slight sweetness balanced with a slight sourness mixed with the flavor of carrots. Because the DM cannot resist the obvious joke.
Yeah. Well, if you all are done eating rabbit food, perhaps we should move along.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Thank you so much
Alright.
for the pie. Like back down. Okay. It was amazing. You should keep cooking. It was. Mwah.
So, well, as you approach the table, Miria says, "Oh, one last thing."
Yeah?
And sort of pulls herself up and kind of limps her way over here. She opens the chest and pulls something out and turns towards you. It's sort of wrapped in an old animal fur. And she pulls off the fur and hands it to you and says, "As thanks for healing my leg. I want you to have this." And she hands you a hand-carved wooden shield.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you.
Carved into the face of it, the part that would face sort of away from you if you were to wield it, is sort of a sigil, almost a coat of arms, if you will. 2 rabbit ears with crossed carrots where there would be swords beneath them. And as you sort of take it off of her, you notice that it's actually also sporting sort of a thin layer of moss that sort of rounds the edges of it. And Miri hands it to you and says, "This is a form of shield that us Limsa carve ourselves. I want you to have it."
Really? You don't need it?
Not particularly. I'm not much of a fighter myself. I don't think I'll need it.
Well, thank you very much. Really nice gift.
Thank you for your assistance.
All right. Well,
She limps back over to her chair. Willow will see you out if you are heading out of the hut. She doesn't live here.
Okay.
You get better. Thank you for the humble pie. That was amazing.
thank you, Miria. Hope you recover well.
Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you all for your help as well. And you make your way back out to the grassy clearing of Thistle Creek. You can see sort of several more village folk.
Friendly ways. Friendly ways.
They sort of shoot you wary looks, but seeing that you were sort of walking next to Willow seems to then calm them down.
Sorry.
Draven just kind of casually walks over and then like whispers, does a little psst. There's a weird mold outside of town. Watch out.
Oh God.
Oh, all right.
Let's keep going.
Why did that sound so evil,
What's that?
Draven? Draven.
Very calming and a reassuring voice there, Draven.
Go warn that one as well.
You make your way across the wooden bridge in the center of town that crosses the creek, and you can see a young girl, evidently quite young. Her ears are a lot shorter than the others.
Listen to your parents, or the weird mold outside of town
Oh
will
my
claim your life.
Oh my fucking God.
She just
Oh my fucking God.
she was a little startled to see you at all, and then you start basically telling her a horror story. So you just kind of see her eyes just go wide, and she just kind of furiously nods along with what you're saying.
Good.
You know, Draven,
Oh.
you'd make a great bard.
What now?
A bard.
Oh,
I think that would. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, do
Like
this
that,
one.
like that frogman in
This one
Ballgrass.
This one next.
no, it's someone else's turn.
Terrorize all
No,
of
no,
them?
Draven.
Or,
Yes, they all need to be warned. Wits, you got this.
All right, all right.
Draven's listening now. He got 2 for 2.
I tried to whistle into my mic, but it didn't pick it up.
So standing near this hut, you can see that same Limsa man who was the one who approached you before. That Miria talked to.
Whistles to get his attention, and then walks up, and then kind of whispers, "Hey, is there any ale in this town?"
I don't think he's asking about the mold.
He shakes his head and just says, "No, I don't think you'll find anything like that in this town."
Oh, rats. All right. Oh, by the way, there's this black mold out in the forest that hurts people, so maybe stay away from that. All right, have a good day.
Just kind of slightly confused, but nods as you turn and make your way away from him.
We're spreading the
village
word.
chief can inform them.
Oh no, we had
They're probably
fight,
gonna,
and
she's probably gonna tell them anyway. So
now they'll listen. Now they'll know for sure.
yeah, now they
At
know that if they
least
don't
that
follow
little
the
girl is going to be petrified of it for life.
She will listen to her parents.
now the little girl knows that if she gets too close to the black mold, Draven's gonna come out of nowhere and attack her.
Draven is the black mold.
My
Huh.
alias.
I mean, it does look quite like your hair.
Whoa, too far. Don't diss the locks.
All right.
Finally found something Draven's sensitive about, chaps.
So before you see that sort of the dirt path and the clearing begins to sort of meld its way back into just forest before you. Still that same sort of lighter atmosphere as you make your way along. The trees have not darkened back to what they were before. As you depart from Thistle Creek and make your way back into the woods.
So we can still see the what was it, like the mother tree, whatever, from here?
Yeah. It sort of peaks far above some of the other trees. Again, sort of shrouded in this massive mist in the distance. But you are getting closer to it, so it's pretty easy to see from pretty much anywhere. You don't need to climb any trees.
Gotcha.
Especially with how sort of sparse these trees are in this area.
Are we seeing any more of the mold on these trees as we pass through? Or is it just like more southern of the village?
No, the woods here, sort of, as you're approaching this village, even when you were walking with Miria, the woods here seem pretty peaceful. You just sort of hear birds chirping and the occasional squirrel or animal run by. But they seem quite quiet and peaceful in this section of the woods.
So climb the trees if you really want to for fun.
I'm good.
Oh, I thought you liked climbing them.
I do it because it's necessary.
Oh, I see you don't ever want to have any fun then. He says as he's taking another sip of ale.
Yes, well, we each have our own definition of fun.
Maybe one day I'll get to know what yours is.
So you walk your way along, traveling for maybe about another hour, and as you walk through this sort of peaceful section of the woods, you notice that gradually, as you near the sort of massive looming tree before you, the forest itself begins to get a little more dense around you as you travel. Which in turn sort of begins to almost darken your surroundings a bit, with shade cast by the trees.
While walking, Wits is gonna take another sip of ale, but then realize that it's empty now.
Right. I had
And
like
then-
a tally of like how many sips you'd done to try to figure out exactly when you'd be dry. But if you want to say you're dry, that's fine.
Well, you know, I didn't want to
You
be
chugging.
I didn't want to be so tedious as to be like how much he sipped each time, you know. So I kind of just figured. But
I was just
mainly said it-
basically giving you about 5 or 6 sips per full glass, depending on how much you said you drank.
we can just say he's out. He
Just
still
big
has that
sips
rum,
this
so he
time.
doesn't. He's not that concerned.
So as the trees get denser, you also begin to notice just sort of this gentle mist begin to linger in the air. First, just sort of along the forest floor, in small little patches, drifting along at your ankles as you walk, and then eventually, as you begin to travel, it begins to thicken, becoming almost clouds within the woods itself, and it begins to almost obscure your vision as you travel further. With a combination of the more dense trees and the mist itself, your surroundings begin to once again darken as you make your way for perhaps another half an hour further north, heading towards the massive tree.
Well, I suppose by now we're being watched.
Bad bitchy vibes. The fuck is that?
It
You
was
see something?
a critter. Some kind of critter.
With many legs is what it sounded like.
I think it sounded like it had 17 hands.
It did sound like 17 hands.
No.
But-
Sybil.
No.
Sybil. Help.
So as you walk through this section of the woods, the fog is much more dense now. And the only thing you can really see through the fog is the shapes of trees, as well as the occasional little clump of fireflies dancing through the air. They seem to prefer this sort of darker section of the woods. You almost feel like it's dusk, though you are incredibly aware that it is not at all approaching dusk time. The way that the environment is almost shifted now, making your way into the shadow of this massive tree that stretches out above you. And so you guys has the highest passive? Is it Draven?
Perception?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Lord.
13. That's the highest.
Anybody beat a 13?
I think that is the highest.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yep.
All right. Draven, you get you and Martos. Martos, you'd sort of feel this as well. You get a sense as you travel through this section of the woods that somebody's watching you. Martos, you get those sort of tingles down the back of your neck as you make your way through this misty forest. But as you travel further, you notice the land sort of begin to get a bit rockier. There's sort of boulders and outcroppings and rock formations placed throughout the trees. And Draven is the first to notice it, but you spot sort of nestled into a little bit of an opening in the trees at the base of sort of this taller rock formation. Something that appears to not just be a natural formation. Draven, at first you just sort of glance at it and then do almost a double take and see a small wooden staircase built at the base of it.
The staircase Willow mentioned is ahead. We should take it if we wish to enter. Just gonna move towards that way.
All right. Then the four of you navigate your way towards that clearing. At first, Draven really only caught a peek of it through the trees, but as you make your way towards it, you can see that it is sort of placed within this clearing. What at first you thought were fireflies, you now notice to be lanterns placed near the base of the steps.
Was this what I want? Seems incredibly obvious.
Give it cover, I suppose. It's really thick, misty around here.
This way.
Doesn't seem like they're right. This is too obvious.
Draven, as soon as you place a single step on that first little stair there,
Yep.
you hear a voice call out from just sort of somewhere off in the distance. If you want to place it, you can make a perception check. But the voice itself calls out, all right, from somewhere out there. Somewhere out in the forest surrounding you, you hear a female voice call out, all right, not another step.
Yes, all right.
State your purpose.
The entrance to the city,
Yes, and why?
looking for someone.
All right, who?
Someone who has ill intentions, possibly towards your people, definitely towards us.
All right. As you say that, you see several figures quickly either drop out of a tree or around the side of one of the trunks. As you quickly find yourself surrounded. Each of them has a bow drawn, and each of them are leveling an arrow at one of the four of you as they just sort of begin to very quickly and very quietly approach, but making their presence known to you. The one who spoke before quickly makes her way in front of you. And still keeping that bow drawn, leveled right at your forehead, Draven. She just says, "And who is it who means us ill?"
Well, I don't have a name, but there's been a group of assassins going about the area. They assassinated a wizard who we were speaking to in the... God, what was that little rest stop town called? God, it's
I
in
don't
my
know
head.
the name, but the Limpsa, who was their village. Oh, you mean the other one?
Sleepy
I don't know
Hills
that one.
rest stop. They assassinated him there, and then they fled. We have followed them throughout the swamp, throughout the woods, and we have word that they may be here.
You see her sort of narrow her eyes. And what evidence have you that they're here?
Wits.
Well, we have a letter, but it's written with invisible ink. And,
How
I
convenient.
don't-
You'll have to wait till nighttime. Well, you can have the damn letter.
well, if you like, I can, ritually cast a spell that shows that it's magical.
Proving that it's magical does not prove what it says on said letter. She's actually gonna insight check you, Draven.
All right. Am I rolling persuasion or?
No, I'm just going to roll for her to see kind of how she feels about you.
Okay.
The higher her roll, the more she can kind of narrow in on what you're saying.
Gotcha.
You see her shoulders relax slightly as she kind of focuses on you for a second, Joe. And she says, "Fine. Somebody go get Tanith." And as soon as she says that, one of them immediately just deftly disappears, making their way quickly up the stairs.
Can I step up onto the entire platform? It's really awkward having one leg on one step and one on the other.
You see her just quickly roll her eyes, and then she takes one step back and says, "Fine."
Thank you.
And then she actually looks kind of past you and says, "The others as well. Step up onto the platform."
Okay.
What's on the platform?
So just sit on the stairs and pop open his room.
Nothing. She's just making you better targets for the archers.
That makes sense.
Which kind of looks over to this guy with the bow. Oh, you want a sip?
He does not react. He's just still got an arrow placed firmly at your forehead.
I guess that's a no. Well, more for me, I guess. He takes a big old sip.
The three archers that remain have not relaxed, and they are just sort of still keeping their bows leveled at you. The only person, now that there's three of them, that they're not aiming at is Draven. But they just wait, unless you want to do anything. They're just going to wait.
Oh, I am not doing anything.
Okay.
Which
You
is
see-
casually drinking.
They're aiming at you because I'm so trustworthy.
You first.
Probably because you're a Luna elf.
Indeed.
Would be racist.
All right. You wait for maybe 6 minutes, but it feels a lot longer as you've got these arrows aimed at your heads. And eventually you see descending down the wooden stairs before you that same forest guard who disappeared, followed by another elven man. The elven man who follows looks far more relaxed than his compatriots. He does not have a bow drawn, though there is one slung over his back. And he just goes, all right, everybody just relax. I'll take it from here." He very distinctly has an entirely different accent than the woman who spoke before. And without really batting an eye, he just sort of walks right up to you all. All right, now, what's all this about?
Just trying to gain entrance to the city, following a possible assassin.
Definite assassin.
Yes,
Yes,
Member of an
definitely.
organization.
one of my guard mentioned. You're gonna have to tell me a little bit more about these assassins. I'm afraid. Just gonna
I
need.
do have their symbol here. Toss it at
Aren't they
me.
called
That's the only
silent songs?
silent song. Something
Yes.
like
Silent
that.
song.
You toss him the little emblem, and he just kind of catches
Yeah.
it and gives it a glance and says, "Well, I don't rightly know much about this, but they do certainly seem legitimate." And just kind of very nonchalantly just tosses it back at you. Lets out sort of a long sigh. All right. I don't think that any of us wants to get into a fight today. Most certainly not you folk. So, why don't we all just, lay our weapons down? He just sort of nods at the other forest guard, and you see them all lower their bows.
Does that mean my rum too?
You can keep your alcohol if you wish, friend.
Cheers.
I'm sorry, you want our weapons?
Well, friends, I'm afraid if you're going to gain access to this here city, I'm gonna have to be taking your weapons off you.
Okay, but can I get? I don't. What? Hold on.
You will receive them back if you leave the city, but while you're on the premises, I am going to have to confiscate them from you.
Can you keep one? Like the great axe, I know it's a little too much. I'll
we'll
give
live.
give that one away. What about my bone axe? I just got this. This is new.
Which just hands his 2 daggers and says, "All right."
I
Take
think I
his
have
bow.
2 staves on me at the moment. Maybe 1. Anyway, I give my weapons to him as well.
Now, friend, I wasn't born yesterday. I'm gonna need you to hand over that book as well. Staring at you, Wits.
Wits is like, "Are you sure?"
You can attempt to persuade him if you wish.
Well, here, let me roll persuasion. Okay, I'm.
Nah.
Wits is just-
I don't think we're in a position to argue right now.
Wait,
Let's
wait,
go
wait! I
back.
still gotta RP it. Oh, come on, man! I'm not that powerful at all. I mean, yeah. How about I give you the rub instead?
You can't even fight a dog on his own.
Nonetheless, friend, I'm afraid it is protocol. I'm gonna need you to hand it over. Not to worry, it'll be kept in a safe place. And if you are to leave the city, all you have to do is simply come and talk to me again, and I will return them to you.
Size and just hands him the book, but like whenever he hands it to him, he kind of holds on tight for a second and then lets go.
He takes it from you and just kind of nods.
Draven will kind of prop over here to the side, definitely unhappy about having his weapons stripped from him, and will just have his bats kind of swarm out and pick up his weapons and hand them to the elven man.
All right. You see, as the bats begin to swarm, you see the elven man just sort of instinctively reach to his waist, and then as the bats just sort of hand the weapons to him, you see him sort of relax slightly and drop his hand back to his side.
Yes, I'm unarmed now.
Alrighty then. So you've all turned in your weapons then?
I'm
Yes,
clutching
the
my
book
shit.
and the book and 2 daggers and nothing else.
Are shields included?
Shields are not included.
Okay, then yeah, more weapons.
So the members of the forest guard kind of take your weapons from you, and then disperse to sort of make room. Well, all right then. That wasn't so hard, was it? Now,
I literally do not like you, sir.
what was that?
I'm pretty sure you heard what I said.
Oh, I did.
Okay, I'm just glad your ears work.
Well, now that we've sorted that out, suppose I can welcome you to the city.
And what a wonderful welcome it is.
And he just sort of just kind of motions for you to follow.
When the fuck did I start taking orders from the guy?
Wits is gonna pour the rest of the rum in his flask and is toss the bottle behind him.
Hey, I need to take these dogs out. You just want to drag me along, Jay?
Yep.
We can keep going. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. So the elven men will lead you along up this winding wooden staircase, which begins to sort of twist and turn between rock formation, and eventually you see another sort of clearing before you, and are now in the city proper. All right. So, arriving at the top of the staircase into the city of Lysindriel, you can see that the city itself is sort of built within the forest, and around the forest, if you will. So it's almost hard to sort of get a full lay of the land, simply because it's built within the trees. So the trees and the rock formations that persist throughout it sort of block your view of most of the town. But you can see in the square before you a large, elaborately carved stone fountain that currently is spraying water, pooling around the base of it. You can see sort of several paths that lead off in all sorts of directions. But the man who's sort of leading you up the staircase just sort of stops and turns around, waiting for you to all arrive at the top. So with you all arriving in the city square, he just sort of gives you another once-over and says, alrighty now, don't go causing any trouble. It was a nice quiet day before you arrived, and I'd like it to continue to be a nice quiet day. Your weapons are kept safe, don't worry. I don't think you'll have any need for them while you're in the city. As long as you don't mean any of the folk here any harm, then they shouldn't either.
Well, even if we wanted to, we can't now, can we?
Thanks.
Well, you still have your fists, so don't go punching anyone either.
Yeah, Matos, you heard him?
I didn't hear that. Thank you, guys.
Now, feel free to take a look around, get your bearings. If you need any help, the Forest Guard Station is center of town. Alright? Just ask for Tanith Farron. That's my name. With sort of like a very nonchalant half wave, he just makes his way around the fountain to the north.
Well, I'm sorry that I probably won't be able to get you a new dagger, Draven.
I don't think he's here right now.
Oh, he isn't. I forgot. He was moving around and I forgot.
I'm doing it. I'm puppeting his corpse.
I'd do the Draven voice then.
So, weekend at Draven's.
Hey.
You
Alright,
did
I'm
it.
back.
Curious. Okay.
Ah,
Damn
man.
it. I really
What's
wanna
going
hear
on?
it. I asked Jay to do the Draven voice because you weren't here yet.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I don't know. It's just sort of pretentious. Just, I don't much like this town, Martos.
Perfect.
That's exactly it.
Sorry, I just need to pay back from the times you've asked me to do voice stuff.
So around the town, you can see a few different elven villagers, as well as a few members of the forest guard, just sort of stationed throughout. Not outright hostile towards you, but you can definitely feel their heads kind of swivel, watching you. Sorry, spam bots. We got a nightbot in here.
Well, where are we going first? Not that we
Tavern.
can see anything, it appears.
Wherever that is.
Despite Witz's reasons for going to a tavern, it might be a good source of information.
Well, of course. Why else would I suggest to go in the tavern?
Wits,
Yes, why
you have an
else?
alcoholic problem, all right? See a therapist.
Well, you have a
Oh.
killing innocent people problem, but you know.
That is,
whatever.
he was evil. I was doing what needed to be done.
We're
Yeah.
not going to talk about this anymore.
I'd do it again.
Pardon me,
You're not.
ma'am.
The woman sort of turns around. She was gazing into the fountain, but she turns to you, Draven. She's got a cat sitting on her shoulders. And she says, "Oh, yes, can I help you?"
Cat. Martos.
No, I'm already thinking about murder.
Sorry, you cannot help me.
All right.
What was that?
Rule number 1, we hate cats.
We hate cats.
No, this isn't gonna
Hell
become
yeah,
a thing.
Draven. Hell yeah.
Cats are
Draven.
nice. I love cats.
Not anymore. Them cats be evil.
All right. So making your way to the east side of town, you wind your way sort of along this stone path built into the woods around you, and eventually come across a rather large-looking building. The building itself is very elaborate and decorated. Even the shingles of the roof itself are quite ornate.
This does not seem like a tavern. Oh my god, what's your fat nigga?
Big wits.
Big lips.
There are a lot of plants in this city. Really nice.
Yeah,
It is an elven place, and
And it's in the forest.
maybe that's why the black mold is here. Someone's trying to kill this place.
Maybe we should warn them. Who do we warn? Oh, we
Surprised there
wonder
wasn't that
if
one
I get
dude,
my
though.
book back.
maybe we should have mentioned that.
I'd say
Probably
2020.
could have mentioned that.
Out front of this large estate, you can see a rather young-looking elven woman with bright red hair, who appears to be tending to some flowers. But she turns around, Draven, as you approach, and says, "Oh, new in town. Can I help you?"
yes. Do you know of the mold that's spreading south of here?
The mold. She stops and thinks for a sec.
It's quite dangerous. It attacked the poor Linsa.
What did it look like?
Sybil, what did it look like?
It was black. Is it pulsating? It was definitely corrosive. And the Limsa girl we met said it jumped out at her. Got a serious injury on her leg.
Actually, now that you mention it, I think one of the Kilmoras was talking about something like that.
What's a Kilmora?
Oh, you really are new in town, huh?
Yes, don't
Very.
rub it in.
Well, the Sindriel is run by the 4 noble houses, and it really always has been. The Kilmora family are one of the noble houses. Well, actually, before you stand in front of the Bryfina estate of the Bryfina noble house.
Oh, I'm afraid I didn't read much about this place before I came here. You said they were talking about it?
Just one of them. I forget who.
What did they say?
I don't know, just rattling on about something they saw in the woods. You know those Kilmoras always so uptight.
Yes,
Afraid I don't.
there's Kelmoras. Where would they be located, if you could direct us?
She points off down the road up to the north. The Kilmora estate's just on the path there.
All right. Perhaps we should head there on our search for a tavern.
Oh, you're not gonna find a tavern in the Sindriel.
Oh, drat.
Oh,
Sorry,
Looks
Wit.
pissed.
looks like you're out of luck.
We're never coming back here again. I like Bogress better now.
One more thing. Are Wood Elves vegetarian as well?
Not particularly. It tends to have we tend to have more of a vegetable-based diet, but not exclusively, no.
Alright, so at least it's probably going to be the only one miserable, then. Draven Yell's going to eat at least.
Why are you
can't think
looking
of
for
anything else.
a tavern?
Our friend here really likes alcohol.
Yeah, and I'm almost out.
Oh well, we do have alcohol. We just don't have a tavern. We don't get many visitors, so there's no real need for one.
Where?
Well, most of the noble families have their store of wines.
Okay. Is there any for sale?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be the one to talk to about selling off wine. You'd have to speak with, I don't know, the heads of the houses, I suppose.
Guys, I hate the city.
We'll live.
No, I
do
won't.
you know anything about the silent song?
Silent what?
Silent song. That does not ring any bells.
No, I'm sorry, not really.
Any other visitors come through recently?
Well, the occasional elf will come and stay with, one of the noble families, distant relatives and what. But we don't get an incredible amount of visitors in the town.
I see.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I suppose I should have introduced myself. I'm, Elena Bryfina.
I'm Sybil. And that's Wits and Mardos. And the grumpy one with the bad hair is Draven.
My hair is not bad.
Well,
Like that
Wits
two grumpy
pointed out
ones.
earlier, and I'm never going to let it go.
I see. If you need any help finding anything in town, you can always come back and Say hello.
All right. Thank you.
Takes a tiny sip, knowing he won't be able to get any more for a while.
Draven, by the way,
Yes.
what's gonna happen if that fellow we're chasing happens to be involved with the, families here? Should we be more subtle about this?
Well, surely there's some type of conflict between the families. You know, 4 noble houses ruling one area and whatnot. It's just a matter of turning the others against them.
It's not entirely what I was asking. But,
Don't
alright.
worry, Sibyl. I know how to handle nobles.
Anarchy!
No. Oh, hi.
Anarchy!
Oh, prefer not.
Well, I've stolen many things from
Moving.
nobles.
Anarchy.
They're easy to trick.
Was anarchy.
Talk while we walk.
Alright.
We're going to continue down the path towards the Kelmora house.
You travel again down that same stone path, this time heading north. And winding your way in between some trees, you eventually see off to your right another large estate.
Jeez, all these rich houses. Where's the golf course?
Royalty number 1.
The Elven golf course.
You can see more guards stationed around. And sort of beyond this little clearing here, off to your left you can see the path winds further back towards the center of town. But off to the north you can see another sort of twisting long staircase.
Suppose this is the house, or up those stairs?
Sir? Or ma'am?
Thing.
I see you.
The member of the forest guard who's just sort of quietly stationed here looks towards you and says, yes, something you need?
Which way is the Kilmora house?
You're standing in front of it.
Okay, then we do not go up the stairs. This is it.
Time to knock, I guess.
Alright, so knocking on the door. You wait for a brief little pause, and then the wooden door before you creaks open. And you're face to face with a blonde elf.
Oh my.
And she opens the door and just sort of, she smiles, but you see her just kind of raise her eyebrows slightly. Yes, was there something you needed? And then she just kind of leans her head to look past you, Martos, at the rest of you. And then says,
That neck.
new to town, I suppose.
Yes, very much so.
I see. Again, was there something you needed?
Think. Wait. What the fuck did we need again? I kind of just blanked.
We need
We
alcohol.
wanna-
Woods needs
wanted-
alcohol. Draven needs something. Sybil needs something. We all need something.
He wanted alcohol, and we wanted to ask about a couple things. Somebody else in town said that somebody from your house had mentioned something about black mold in the forest south of here.
If you don't mind me asking, who exactly said that?
Didn't catch the
Brycina.
name, but she looked beautiful.
Woman tending to the flowers in front of the house south of here. Her name E something? I'm not very good at remembering names, I'm afraid.
You must be Nalina. Always so nosy. I suppose you may come inside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elena Brythena was the name.
She sort of opens the doors for you. She has them kind of half ajar, but she opens them and welcomes you inside.
Alright, Darren's gonna follow him.
Inside the estate, you can see a very finely decorated hall and a very delicately woven rug beneath your feet, with several rooms that lead off on the left and right of you, as well as a large spiral staircase at the center of the hall on the far end.
That's nice.
You can see another relatively young blonde elven man who just sort of eyes you as you enter. But the woman actually just sort of almost ignores him and says, you can come in here if you wish. And as she walks in, you just kind of see her address the man sitting at the table here, who looks quite a bit older than the others, but about as old as elves even show age. And she says, Father, we have some visitors. They wanted to ask some questions, if you don't mind us using the dining hall. And a rather stern-looking blonde elven man stands and just sort of eyes you up and down. All four of you.
Hi, sir.
Yes, I suppose it's fine.
Paint a portrait, it'll last longer.
You can come in and sit down if you wish.
Did you want this seat, Sybil?
Nope. Okay.
The woman sits kind of on the far end of the table and says, now then, I am, Lelatha Kelmora. And you all are?
I'm Sybil Vignori.
Draven Duskmore.
That's right, everybody. Get ready for 7 sessions of Elven names.
Oh boy.
And I'm already spelling them wrong.
That's why these name tags are very, very useful, so make sure you ask people's names. So, now then, what exactly was it you wanted to talk about?
First of all, Thoris mentioned that some of you knew something about black mold, or said something about the black mold in the forest south of here.
Me? No. I can't speak much of it, but I do know that Arathis has, frankly, not shut up about it for several days now.
Arathis?
Yes, my little brother.
Oh. Well, it's a bit unnerving. When we were coming here, we came across this, I'm sorry, I'm already forgetting the name of the funny people.
Limsa.
Limsa. No, we came across a Limsa girl who'd been injured by it. Supposed to be a bit worried for the village's safety.
Ah, yes, you must mean, Thistle Creek to the south of here, yes?
Hmm? Yep.
from the far end of the room in walk the older, stern-looking elven man and the younger blonde elf who you walked by in the hall. And the older man just says, "All right, Arathis, seems these folk here are rattling on about the same thing that you've been for the past several days. Perhaps you should speak with them." And the younger elven man sits down at the table in the last seat. You can get a name tag for him too. I'm gonna add all their last names so you can keep those straight too. He sits down at the table and just sort of looks across all and he says, "You've seen what I've seen in the forest, then?"
Yeah,
Black mold
listen,
that is seemingly alive and burns things.
yes, we've seen that.
All right, finally someone else who believes me. The only other person in town who's talking about this as well. But hang on, you didn't see the figure?
Well, what did the figure look like?
Well,
Figure?
I didn't really get a good look. They were wearing a cloak, and I really only saw them from the back. But I spied them through the woods. I saw someone. They were sprinkling something, a powder, on the trees. And then after they left, I went to go look at what they were doing, and that's when I saw the mold, the black mold.
Oh,
Sybil, was it not that weirdo you were speaking to in the middle of the night?
And we were camping in the forest. We were approached by a figure, but
Oh, were they wearing a cloak?
I don't remember if they were wearing a cloak. They introduced themselves as the Verdant Prince, among other titles.
You just see both of them, Laylatha and Arathis, just raise their eyebrows, and they almost simultaneously just kind of go, "You've seen the forest spirit?"
Forest spirit?
"Yes, the forest spirit."
Oh. They said they were interested in our party because they saw a dreamer. I'm a druid. They just approached us during the nighttime during our watch, inquired about that shortly, and then left. Warned us about the hounds, too.
I see. Well, folk around here, we talk of the spirit of the forest, a sort of protector, if you will. Some say that they've seen him walking through the trees, almost drifting on the mist itself.
Well, I don't suppose that the figure you were talking about was them then. Or him then.
Arathis is speaking now. I don't believe so. They looked quite real to me, not like any spirit I've ever seen.
Well, we didn't see any other figures that night. So we did come across a campsite that had signs of being, well, destroyed. I'm guessing by whatever the hounds are. And, I also had a dream about a very unsettling, many-handed creature. But other than that, nothing encountered us.
Many-handed creature? I can't say no much about that.
Sybil, you're oversharing.
Am I? I'm sorry. I struggle with this.
Sybil's very open with everyone.
Well, I'm afraid I didn't see the figure's face, so I can't tell you much more about them. That's really all I saw.
Okay.
Where
Right.
did they go off to when you saw them?
Um,
Which
Well-
direction?
I sort of lost track of them after I went to go look at the mold, so I don't really know.
Did the figure hop or walk?
Walk, I believe.
All right.
Funny people are good, man.
Well, do you have any ideas about what we could do to stop the spread of this mold?
Not really my area of expertise, sorry. But I did say before, someone else said they saw someone in the woods.
Who?
At the tailor in town. At Lindis.
Wait, you said tailoring town?
Yeah, the tailor.
Oh, the tailor in town. I heard
Yes.
tailoring town. I was like, what the hell? They got an
Yep,
entire
same.
town
No.
dedicated to making clothes?
Not
Yeah,
quite.
rich people.
Yeah, this is just a very fashion forward town.
Oh, they're L's, yeah, you never know.
The square in the middle is actually a fashion show stage.
Yeah, that's what the stairs are for.
Well, perhaps we should go speak with them as well.
Yes, just sort of towards the center of town is where her shop is.
If we plan on spending a bit of time in town, is there a place with accommodations for us to rest?
Lilatha speaking now says, well, there's not exactly an inn in Lissandra. We don't exactly get too many guests, so it's really not a very profitable business here. Though I suppose you could ask one of the noble houses and arrange a stay. The noble families are so big that they usually have spare rooms.
And you are a noble family.
I suppose, yes.
Can we stay?
She actually just immediately just looks over at her father. And then back towards you, just sort of says, well, we only really have the one bed empty from my youngest brother. He's away at school, you see.
Yes, we
I
have
don't
the-
think. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I guess we have the tents.
Yes, but we don't want to look homeless in town, setting up tents in the middle of it.
You could go ask one
Or
of the
do
other
we?
other noble families. You mentioned you spoke with the Bryfinas already, but
We only
Indeed.
spoke with the women out front.
yes. Well, there are an additional 2 other noble families here, so you could speak with them as well.
Yes, let's make our rounds. Anyone
Oh.
think otherwise?
Oh, one more thing. Have you any idea how we can get some alcohol? Our friend here's a little desperate.
Which doesn't say anything, and he just pulls his collar up.
Well, the Venror house often have large stores of wine. I suppose they'd be most willing to part with them.
I'm sorry, the what house?
Venror.
Could you spell that?
I guess so. Venror. Just on the west side of town.
Understood.
Yeah, if you go there, they give you the free trial.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we should go speak with that tailor about the mold, and then possibly the Venra house about accommodations before it gets too late.
think you are right.
All right.
Thank you for being amazing us.
Before we leave, Leilata, or Arthas, or whomever,
Yes.
are there any conflicts between the noble houses?
Well, I mean, there's the occasional bickering and small squabbles, but we mostly get along.
Understood. Does the name Silent Song mean anything to you?
Not particularly, no.
And here's a shot in the dark. What about this? And he'll display his hand with the marking on it.
Just kind of squints and leans over. Afraid I'm not familiar either.
That's all right. The information you've provided us with is more than sufficient. Well, you all have a wonderful day.
I hope you figure out what's going on with the mold. We'll continue looking into it too, I suppose.
He just kind of nods enthusiastically and just is like, "Yeah, I'm really curious."
Goodbye.
Just to be clear, Witch hasn't said
Nod.
a single word since he's entered this house.
Oh, and if I start talking too much, stop me, please.
I'll just let it run its course and tell you afterwards.
Ah!
Let's take a short little break.
Yep.
Okay.
So go to the bathroom, get a snack if you need to. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
I'm all alone. There's no one here inside.
I'm here.
Mm.
You
I'm
can
gonna
keep
mute my
singing
mic.
though.
No, I'm gonna mute the mic now in embarrassment, but thank you.
What's this about singing?
Oh no! Draven was singing.
Yeah, I already got
What?
done, so it's your turn now. You gotta sing.
Wait,
I-
what?
Draven sang, I sang, now it's your turn to sing.
Oh.
You walked in on this.
One sec.
AFKs until it's time to play again.
Who's
Never
singing?
comes back. We're all singing.
Everybody's singing. It's your turn, Jay. You gotta sing now.
You can't
Sybil
trick
did
me
it.
with that
I
one.
did it. Drave did it.
I
You know?
definitely did it.
You're not gonna trick me with that one.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not.
Definitely not with that roll.
How's it going, DJ?
I am back.
We all
I
here?
don't
can't
have to do
even-
it. Cool.
Oh, you really did wait.
I was just getting some stale Cheez-Its. I didn't think it was that big of a ruckus.
Oh, for the whole thing.
Alright, everybody here?
Ah,
Yeah.
I think so.
No, I'm not here.
He's gone then.
Yeah, I'm gone. I cast invisibility.
All right. Then you make your way out of the Kelmora estate, back to the clearing, and are once again surrounded by trees.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay.
Fellow, where's the tailor in this town?
He kind of points past you, Draven, towards the path over here, and says, just take the path over yonder, about the center of town. Small little building.
All right. It's this way, everyone.
Figured he did some very large hunting action.
So following that path along, you eventually come to sort of a larger clearing with more buildings in it, rather than just a single massive estate. It's got more buildings and smaller buildings. The center of the square is sort of lit with these torches that give off this orange glow. You can see the road itself kind of stretch south and in sort of all directions from here. It's a bit of an intersection in the town, and on either side there's a bunch of different types of huts. There's nicer looking ones and sort of straw huts, a big variety.
Anyone want to speak to a local? Find out where we need to go?
Not it.
Not it.
Where are we going again? Sorry, what was the name of the place we were going?
Sybil, have you been drinking out of Witz's flask?
I'm naturally airheaded, okay?
Do you want to?
No.
We're going to a tailor.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, something you need?
You know where the tailor is?
He just kind of hooks his thumb at this building here.
Oh, okay.
Ow.
Thank you.
Nods.
It's this one.
Hell
Alright.
yeah, Mama Sybil at it again.
I don't know why you guys are so afraid to ask for directions, apparently.
Have to do that.
People are frightening.
I talk to people all the time. I just get tired of it. So
I
exhausting.
try to fight people.
I just don't like people here.
I've murdered an innocent man.
Oh, now you
Go
say he's innocent.
stop
One of the guards are gonna hear that and they'll be like,
Immediately come after me.
You're all getting thrown the
Jay,
ring.
Jay secretly rolling a perception check for this guard right here.
Second town in a row that you guys have to run away from.
We didn't even kill anyone here. We have to run already.
If I have to run, I will murder someone on the way.
From now on, anytime
With
Artis
no
says that,
weapons.
we'll have to be like, "What? You killed someone? What?"
I'll punch them to death.
All right, this map really just said it doesn't want to load today.
Oh god. Oh, okay.
Did it load for you guys?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
loaded.
just took a second.
It was super blurry. It's good.
It decided it doesn't want to do that for me.
Hmm.
Let me give it a quick refresh. If that doesn't work, then I'll just ignore it.
Okay.
But as you walk in, you can see just sort of all manner of clothing kind of thrown. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Throughout the building. There's a large rug fashioned out of a bear pelt on the floor below you. It appears to be sort of half shop, half house, with the various sort of furniture of a house with bed and dressers and stuff like that, but also clearly a workspace with clothes kind of strewn throughout. On the far end of the room, sitting facing away from you at the desk, is a blonde elven woman who, hearing the door open, turns towards you and says, "Oh, hello there. Newcomers, can I help you with something?"
Yes. My name is Draven. And
Nice to meet you, Draven.
wondering- nice to meet you too. What is your name?
Lindis Ludov.
Yes.
Lindis Lude Elf?
No.
You're not saying it.
Spell that for me. Ludo.
She does.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, sorry, I heard something different.
All right.
Yes, wanting to know about this black mold. We've spoken to a few people around town. The Limsa village, to the south of here, it seems it's becoming quite a problem.
Black mold. Can't say no much about that.
Wait, I put down in my notes, Taylor knows about black mold. Did I confuse that?
Yes, I think you
About-
did. He said that he didn't say that she saw the black mold. He said that she saw another figure in the woods.
The figure, that was it. Okay. Yes, just ignore that part about the black mold. I meant to ask,
Alright.
any strange figures you've seen out in the mist?
Yeah, actually, now that you mention that. Well, you probably already realized, but Lysindriel doesn't get too many visitors. We've only really had a few, including yourselves in the past, well, months even. And, well, I was wandering in the forest, just foraging, the other day, and I saw a woman walking out in the woods who I didn't really recognize. And well, it's usually pretty odd for these parts of the woods. So I just sort of, I followed her for a few minutes, and then she just sort of disappeared behind a tree.
What did this woman look like?
Well, again, I didn't really get a good look at her. She was pretty far away, and she had sort of this cloak, a hood up. From what I gathered, all I can really tell you is that she was female. An elf, perhaps, but I couldn't see her ears.
Alright. Well, just knowing it's a woman helps us a bit. Anything anyone needs from here while we're here?
I think I'm.
Yes, I'd be happy to fix up any clothing or sell you new stuff. We've got a selection of hats, we've got dresses, all manner of things.
Can you turn a crocodile skull into anything?
A skull? That's not really something I'm particularly used to doing. I could give it a shot, maybe.
What will you make it into?
Sorry, you cut out.
What would you make it into? I
Well,
was gonna shark teeth. If you want shark teeth.
I really suppose it would depend on what you wanted to do with it. I could make a alligator skull. I could make it a pauldron if you wished, or some form of hat.
Tell, I already have a hat.
Yes,
Have
I,
it
She
Hold
could
it.
I
fashion
see.
the ram skull into an actual hat.
yes, I could put
Yeah.
leather straps so it doesn't fall off. I could,
Oh, can
could
you
do all
that?
manner of things. Yes, it wouldn't be
I'd
too
do it
hard.
by rim.
Not exactly my usual medium that I work with, but I could give it a shot.
Oh,
Take my
excuse me,
ram
miss.
skull off.
Is there any general store or blacksmith in the city?
Yes, the blacksmith is just across the way from my shop.
Okay.
Here is my ram skull. Protect it with your life.
Yes,
Hold your ram skull in high regard.
you mentioned shark teeth as well.
Oh yeah, I can make that into like a necklace or something. That'd be cool.
Yes, I could string them into a necklace. That shouldn't be too hard.
Heck yeah, I got 3 shark teeth. Take my shark teeth.
All right. Should be able to get them back to you. The necklace I could finish probably in a day, and then I'll see about the other stuff after that.
I appreciate how much for everything.
You need new Mardos art.
Yeah, I do. I really need to.
We keep
I
forgetting
might
that she
make
has
new
this
Mardos
on.
art after this. Who needs it?
Because I would have loved to see if it mattered or not, but like whenever the elves came out of the forest, if they focused in on Mardos, like, what are you wearing? What are you?
How is that thing? Oh, hey guys, don't worry. Don't ask.
Well, one more thing, miss. Is there
Yeah.
any sort of magic shops or anything here?
Not particularly. We don't get many visitors. Really, only even just had one. And I guess you folk as well. You count as well. But those kind of shops don't tend to do too well in Lysandria. We had someone set up a shop last year, but they didn't last too long. Usually just move on to a different town with more folk passing through.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna be able to do that.
I know. I know.
Otherwise, I would actually buy during that time. Thank you. So, I'm sure Mardos's commissioned goods are going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, I can finish those up for you relatively soon. Shouldn't take too long.
Yes, hopefully we will be able to remain in town long enough to receive them when you
I
return.
will definitely remain in town long enough to receive them.
Good, we have a promise. Mardos will be on her best behavior. Wonderful.
Oh,
Decent
no, she
behavior.
never said she'd be on her best
Worth more to me
behavior.
than any other
Just-
gift in the world.
Nah, I did not say I'll be on good behavior, but
just we'll be here.
I'll be on decent.
Listen, just work quickly. It doesn't have to look great.
Alright. You make your way back out into the sort of central square in town.
Well, I wanted to go visit the blacksmith wits.
Oh yeah.
I need some new armor, but quite broken at the moment.
I'm just gonna walk in. Oh,
The door is definitely locked.
Oh,
it is locked, my guys. I ran into a fucking door.
Sorry, did you need something in my house?
oh, we thought this was the blacksmith's.
We were told this was the blacksmith's.
No, the blacksmith is just up there.
Oh,
Oh, I
Sorry.
am
She
so
lied.
terribly sorry. We
That
were
was a
deceived.
misunderstanding.
Um,
Oh man.
sorry about that, sir.
We just walk into this man's house.
Alright,
Where-
just
We're
a misunderstanding, I suppose.
I'm so sorry. I don't have
Yes.
my mask to hide behind anymore.
We're not home invaders.
Right, right.
Not yet.
We will be. At one point we were.
Which might be at some point.
Cautiously walk in this time.
Alright, this
Picked open
door This door is unlocked. It's a rather nice looking house with sort of a gentle curl of smoke coming from its chimney as you make your way inside. All right. Oh yeah, I refreshed, so I don't get to paste anymore. That's fun. Okay, you can just come inside then. All right. So you make your way into a relatively small, but still rather nice looking blacksmith shop. The elven man who appears to be running the forge is just sort of bustling about to and fro as you enter. And he just kind of turns towards you and goes, almost kind of before he turns around, he goes, "Yes, was there something you needed?" Newcomers in town.
Yes.
Let's see. Well,
sorry, I'm like lagging.
Sorry. Audio or just visual?
Oh,
He's gone.
he's gone.
Back.
Oh,
Hey.
God. This fucking Wi-Fi. Sorry.
All good.
Okay.
The elven man just sort of turns towards you and says, I repeat the question. Is there something I could help you with?
Yeah, what kind of wares do you have?
Well, this is a blacksmith shop, so I sell mostly weapons, though I can forge other metal items if you wish.
By any chance, would you have any ball bearings?
Not on hand. I could fashion some, I suppose.
No, it's all right. Just want to know if you had them.
I see. It's a bit of an odd request, I must say. I haven't gotten that one before. Don't believe it would be too hard, though.
Well, I really wanted to get a loan from one of these guys.
I see.
Me.
The rest of you? Anything you need?
What sorts of medium armor do you have?
Here in Lysandriel, mostly leather armors.
Okay.
Yes, do you have studded leather? Specifically for 14 gold?
Well, I wouldn't let it go for 14 gold, no. But, I can fashion studded leather.
What about 14 gold and a hunting trip?
A hunting trap? Well, I think we've got a lot of those around here, and, well, most folk here just use their bows.
Trapping is the superior way to catch prey. Yes, well, then what would the price be?
Let me double check.
That's 45.
No, it's not. It is 68.
Wait, what?
Oh.
This is an elven shop, my friend. These are nice items.
Ah, damn elves.
Damn, what is this, GameStop?
Yes.
He doesn't get many visitors through town, so he's got to gouge you for every coin.
Yeah, makes sense. Would there be any ways to earn coin around town? You know, just a bit of handiwork or some monster killing?
I mean, you can always just ask around. I don't need much help myself, but doesn't mean anyone else will, doesn't.
Alright, what about discounts for people who are saving your town from an evil mole?
Oh, and is that you?
Yes.
She kind of chuckles. Well, when the mold is defeated, I suppose we'll renegotiate.
Wonderful. Well, I'm too poor to afford anything right now. Anyone else has any business?
I'm a broke bitch.
You want to talk about broke bitch? Which can't even afford alcohol anymore. Actually, he
Oh,
can,
no.
but not
Orange?
much. Let me see. Yeah, Wits has like 4.5 gold.
Yikes.
So
This was
What
the,
an
the
mean.
this was the DM's long con. This was your punishment. You guys said never punished for killing that merchant. This was your punishment.
He
Was
deserved
that
it.
I gouged you for sailing on
the
that ship,
spirit-
and now you guys have no money.
the spirit of the of High Noon is now went to every merchant and just
Exactly.
ingrain the image of like the next customer that walks in.
So
gouge them.
never say never punished. Make your way back out of the blacksmith shop to the central square.
All right, we're next in this wretched city.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, I have vital information for your safety. It is 1 gold only.
Um, she she just kind of leans her head past you, Draven, to look at your party members who are just kind of distancing themselves from you. Is some sort of scam?
Certainly not.
You can make a persuasion check against her if you want.
Alright. Like it is a scam and it isn't, so. Okay.
Yeah, that's why
We're not-
I'd accept either persuasion or deception, really, because they both kind of apply. Because it both is and isn't. All right. She does not beat that with an insight check. And she just kind of strokes her chin a little bit and goes, "Is it serious then?"
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Quite serious. It
Yeah.
nearly killed a poor Limsa.
I suppose I can part with 1 gold. And just kind of flicks you a coin.
Draven will catch it and then pocket it. Yes, the information. Watch out for the black mold south of here. It's
Black
in the
mold?
forest, on the trees. It will attack you.
I see. Well, thanks for the information, I suppose. I hadn't heard about that.
Indeed. Don't go spreading this information, by the way.
Wait,
Keep
why
it to
not?
yourself.
Isn't it serious? Shouldn't everybody know?
Yes, I will tell them. Don't worry about it.
Well, hold on. I'm a member of the Forest Guard. I need to make sure that everybody's safe.
Listen, you can tell the forest guard, but leave the townsfolk out there.
Just-
Yeah,
just
to earn
I need
coin.
to.
Tell anybody. Okay, Draven.
I need to go
This is
tell
actually
Captain
serious.
Tanith about this.
Hey, what's the name of that noble family, Draven, that we talked to? I can't remember names.
Kelmora or Bryfina?
Kimura. A young man of the Kimura family. He also knows something about it. He said he saw a figure in the woods, sprinkling powder on the trees. He later observed the mold on. So it might not be a disease. It might be intentional.
Oh,
It is very dangerous. It gave a young Limsa girl from the village south of here serious injuries.
I see.
And it corrodes weapons. So, yeah. Tell whoever needs to know that.
You said that one of the Kelmoras saw someone in the woods.
Yeah. Oh, what was his name? You know-
Arathas said he
Arathas.
mentioned someone, yet he could not make out their features. The kind tailor, gotta write down her name. What was her name?
Lindis.
Lindis, gotcha. Lindis said that there was a woman about the woods, possibly related.
I see. It must have been beyond the mists. If it happened in the mists, we would have seen it.
It was. You know the forest south of the Limsa village? Really dark. They contain hounds. That one was where all the mold was spreading.
I see. The Forest Guard doesn't often head that far south. We mostly stay within the mists.
Well, it might not be an immediate threat to you, but it's still likely important that whoever's in charge should know about it. Especially if it does manage to spread up here.
Yes, I'll have to speak with Captain Tanith about this.
Well, I'm glad we could be of any help. Sorry about my friend's shakedown.
It was a simple sale of information.
Hold on. The tailor, she didn't say anything more about what the figure looked like, just that they were female?
Yeah, said she couldn't quite make out the features. Could be an elder woman, could not.
Arithas mentioned a cloak, but that's, I imagine, not very helpful.
No hair color or anything?
Afraid not.
No.
That does make it hard.
Well, if you're off to relay that information to your superiors, could you direct us to the Vinroar house?
Yes, if you head south and then west, you can get there. If you head west and then south, you can get there. But long story short, it's to the southwest.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, she is going to make her way south.
Sorry
Listen,
about that.
If we're going to
Well.
scam more people, we need to do it quickly. She's moving to spread the information.
I mean,
All that information
okay,
was
we're
worth
gonna
at least
skip
5
town
gold.
eventually, but if this actually ends up being dangerous, they're gonna get screwed over, so...
Hope they do.
That's a little
Murder the
harsh.
last town, or burn this town down.
No! They have
Each
done
town
nothing to
will go
deserve
through.
that.
Each
They're
town,
Town
wealthy.
guys.
we gotta go back to the bunnies and ruin that town as well.
No, the
Oh,
bunnies are
officer.
fine.
It's a.
Are you...
I know you guys didn't do anything wrong to
Escalade.
us, and like, we've only really been friendly with you, but we do have a protocol about having to ruin every time we go to. So apologies for this.
It's nothing personal. It's just how it is, you know.
We gotta follow our protocol, you know.
Yeah, your protocol is to protect the town. Our protocol is to commit arson, first degree murder. I mean, you know, it just is what it is.
Same thing.
Oh my god, this really is the campaign, isn't it?
Every
I don't think we're
campaign is
that
the
evil
evil
yet.
campaign.
By
That's-
the
I mean-
mindset you guys are working with, we're already there.
Oh yeah, we're still again to the.
I mean, the most good Wits is gonna get is he hates rich people. So
You head south along the same path that the member of the forest guard you spoke to headed down. Oh, you should be inside. Go away.
fuck off.
On one side of the path, you can see a large building. On the other side, you can see a series of archery targets and practice dummies with several members of the forest guard. All just kind of standing and firing arrows, some of them practicing on the dummies. The ones firing arrows have not missed yet.
Which one's firing arrows? Is it this one? Oi, you want some practice?
Excuse me?
Just want to give you some targets to practice on.
Well, I've got targets.
Well, what about moving targets?
Suppose.
For 10 gold, you can shoot at wits.
Let me see. You know what? Why not? Wits is going to cast Silent Image to make a hog frog.
Do you have your spellbook?
I did not think you need your spellbook. I thought you using your arcane focus.
That replaces component pouches.
I had
Oh.
looked up at. I mean, I thought I had looked up in the. What was it? That you. The only thing that it takes away when you take away the spellbook is you can't ritual cast and you can't add any new spells or re-prepare.
Oh. Okay.
Is this true, Jay? Or is it?
Mhm.
I'm
You're all
actually
good.
not sure.
Yeah, I don't know the fine details of it. I think what you said sounds right. Where do you want to cast it?
He's gonna cast it, yeah, right there, and he's gonna make it start running across like here.
All right. You just kind of hear like a slight chuckle from the forest guard member, who is then going to loose an arrow and, Jesus, nat 20.
Damn.
send an arrow right through the eye of the Pogfog, which just passes right through it as it hops around. Actually, with a nat 20, it passes straight through the eye and hits the target behind it. He nails both.
Jesus.
Damn. What a guy.
Well, Wits, you gotta pay him now.
Yeah. he
I never said I was
deserves
gonna
it.
pay him anything.
Mhm.
Just wanted to see how that is off.
Not too shabby of a trick. Kind of nods in approval to your little moving target.
Contemplates making a Queen Taka.
It'd be a bit much.
I can't go through that again.
Is this the Venroy house?
No, this is the Forest Guard station. Fenwar House is a little further to the southwest.
Alright.
Y'all keep up the great work. By the way, there's black mold out there with a hooded figure. Good luck with that.
Just you get kind of some nods when you say keep up the good work, and then just sort of a confused tilt of the head for the next fight.
You really should be charging people for that information.
That's
Marco.
5 gold you just earned.
They didn't pay me.
Well, that's okay. Now we know.
Now you make your way further south, and eventually, winding down the path, arrive back at the Fountain Square, where you first arrived.
Mother. Southwest.
And I'm not going to tell the cat girl about it.
Ugh,
I can get them
cat
things
slander.
for it.
Cats are great.
You think the cat has a name?
No.
Probably.
Excuse me. Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Yes, was this something you
Does the
needed?
cat have a name? Does the cat have a name?
Yes, of course. His name is Shadow.
There's
Oh,
one
that's
high noon.
adorable.
That's a shitty name. Call it High Noon.
What?
Good
Which
day
is-
to you. Be aware of black mold.
I am so
Hey.
sorry.
Your,
Jay, how tall
Beware
is
of
High Noon?
black mold.
your friend seems in quite a sour mood.
He is. He
High
doesn't have much of a liking for cats, I'm afraid.
Noon was about
apologize for them.
6 foot, probably.
Okay, never mind.
You guys stop insulting everyone we meet?
We only insulted one. Well,
Oh no, that Archer back there seemed pretty happy.
we'll do better. I'm so sorry.
I love it. I know, it's so great.
I really wish High Noon was 5 foot. I would have totally minor illusioned him.
Let me just maybe punch a random person. Now we gotta flee this place.
All right. You make your way west and find yourself sort of walking up a rock formation here. And there's sort of stairs that have been carved into the side of the rock formation that give you this sort of natural climb. At the top of the rock formation, you can see sort of shingles and moss that makes up this sort of large estate at the top of this rock formation.
I
The
think
path
this
is...
is the fanciest one we've seen so far. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, no, it's fine. I was just gonna keep narrating. Whenever there's dead air, I just start talking about the environment. There's sort of these lanterns that line the path and illuminate it for you. Because the entire town of Lysindriel has actually been a little bit dark almost. The shadow of the mother tree casts a very large section of shade across the entire city.
Craven
you
is
doing?
walking
got
up the
sticky feet.
halls.
You got sticky feet.
Oh,
Huh.
God.
Is that a
Alright.
ranger thing or a lunar elf thing?
It's a bit of
Thing is-
both.
I think it's the other thing.
What other thing?
You're right. Yeah.
Bad
Whatever
hairdo
thing.
thing.
What
weird.
other thing?
A bad hairdo thing.
the greasy looking thing.
Need to take a shower thing.
The Leechita thing. Just talking on Draven now.
Winding your way up to the top of the rock formation, you now see a rather ornate-looking estate in front of you, illuminated by these same orange lanterns. You can see sort of this small table with a flower pot sitting on it in front of the estate, and seated at the table is a relatively young-looking elven woman with sort of very dark brown hair. Who just kind of turns towards you and just sort of gives you an odd look as you walk sort of closer to the estate. Is there something you needed? She calls out from her seat at the table.
Alcohol.
Accommodations and alcohol.
You don't gotta stand way over there, you know?
All I have is fist. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
You all new in town?
It appears so, yes.
Yes, what gave it away?
We don't get many visitors in through here, so it's usually pretty easy to tell. I'm Mishia Venroar. What's all your names?
I'm Sybil.
Draven.
Wits.
Well, suppose it's nice to meet you all. Did you need anything with me or one of my family members or something?
Well, we were told by Leilata that your home would be accommodating for travelers looking for a place to rest.
Suppose we do have some empty beds, what with Hara's gone and a few other vacancies. Yeah, I suppose we have some empty beds, but you really have to speak with my father.
Where might we find him?
Well, he's inside. I can lock him in, I suppose.
Alright.
That was weird. So sometimes when you guys are moving around and I try to click and drag you all, it'll just like teleport you. It'll like slingshot you across the map. It's always really funny when it happens.
God damn it, Jake casted catapult on this.
I know.
Just get launched out of nowhere like a giant hitting you in Skyrim or something.
Oh, that's how we should be traveling.
All right. So you make your way into this estate, and are sort of greeted by a more narrow hallway. I'm bringing you in here, but I'm still resizing you. There you go. But much like the other noble house you were in, the halls are quite ornate, and the place itself looks quite welcoming. You can come inside. This is my father's study. I'm just gonna knock on the door. Yeah, Father, there's some new people in town who wanted to speak with you. Is that all right? You just kind of hear from beyond the door. Yes, all right. Send them in. And she just kind of pushes the door open and moves out of the way.
Thank you.
Not it.
The man at the desk at the far end of the room seems to be in the middle of something. He's writing in a book, but he finishes what he's doing, closes the book, sets down his quill, and then kind of turns his chair a bit towards you. The man himself seems relatively old for enough. Again, they don't really show their age as much, but as far as what you can tell, he looks relatively old. He's got sort of a shock of gray hair throughout his brown hair. And like Mishia, he also has some pretty severe looking scars. Here, I'll show you her too. And he turns towards you and just kind of folds his hands and says, "Yes, well, something you want to speak to me about?"
We're looking for lodging for the time being. Oh, and my friend behind me is also looking for alcohol, if you have any. And he asked around, and people said that this was the best place to ask.
We do have the largest wine storage in all of Lysindriel, so I suppose we would be the ones to speak with. And in regards to lodgings, I do suppose we have some empty rooms up on the second floor.
Well, if you would be able to stay the night here, that would be very much appreciated.
Well, I'm willing to extend the courtesy, but I'm afraid I'm going to need a little bit more information about you all before I formally say yes. Why exactly are you all in town?
Well, my name is Draven, and me and my party here are here following the leads of an assassin. But we're also spreading the word of the Black Mold.
Is that some sort of new religion?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
5 gold and I can tell you more.
You already told the Forest Guard, Draven. Like, you're going to know eventually.
If the Forest Guard already know, then there's no need for me to meddle.
Sorry.
Well then, yes, we're following an assassin believed to be a part of a group called Silent Song. Draven will show the insignia. Does this mean anything to you?
Unfamiliar, but you said you're following an assassin to Lysindriel.
Well, word got to us that he might possibly be here.
Well, we don't get too many visitors around here. What'd your assassin look like?
Well, your
Question.
ringleader.
Looked like Draven, but fatter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with more
A
coloring.
goatee. Like your goatee. Like
One
your
that's face,
face
I
on
suppose.
Draven.
He also had
Yeah.
a coat that with a lot of fur on it.
Similar accent to
You just he kind of
everyone.
he kind of studies Draven, attempting to understand what you're saying. So you're saying they were male, lunar elf, I suppose.
Rather lunar elf.
Rather pale black hair.
Yeah, he had the
Yeah,
black hair.
similar hair.
With a goatee like yours. Imagine your face on Draven and a big furry coat.
Well, I imagine that'd be
Assassin.
quite a frightening sight.
It was, yes.
It was.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know anyone that's matches that description that's entered town in the last, well, months even. We've really only had one visitor.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Well, it appears they are working in a band, so you're
Who was
not
the
sure if it was
visitor?
him or some other member.
Y'all just asked a bunch of questions at once. Somebody go. Some
Who was the visitor?
Well, I can't say that I knew her personally. She stayed up with the Wenowins to the north for a few days. Suppose you'd have to ask them.
The winner who?
The Wenowin family, one of the noble families of Lysindrio. Their estate is to the north of here, by the lake.
Right. What was your name, by the way?
How rude of me. I am Sephion Venroar, head of the Venroar family.
Nice to meet you.
Ah, yes, a pleasure.
Indeed. Well, from what I gather, you don't seem to mean us any harm. We do have the spare rooms. I suppose I could let you leave your things here.
Thank you very much.
Some of the other folk in town looked a little wary when you talked to them, just because they don't get too many outsiders, and they seem kind of a little bit on edge. Sephion does not look nervous at all.
Sephion, I noticed that you and your daughter had some battle scars. What might be that from?
Well, from battles, of course. The Venroar family are quite an old family of war mages.
I see. Who are your common enemies in the area?
Well, the past few years, mostly just your odd bandit party who wander a little too close, or beasts in the woods. We haven't seen much true combat in quite some time. Of course, hundreds of years ago, there was wars between the various elven bloodlines, but most of that has been settled, and we live in relatively peaceful times.
I see. And what of the other noble houses here in Lysindrio? Are they known for any particular specifics themselves, such as you and the war mages?
Well, the Kilmora family are one of the most renowned noble families in, well, all of Kiltahera. Mostly. They're known as guardians of the Mother Tree. And, well, the Kilmora family. The head of the family is the one who leads the Mother Tree Council, of course. The Bryfina family are relatively affluent, buys them influence here in this town. And, well, the Wenowins are, well, they're just odd. But their family stretches back quite far into the history of Lysindriel as well, and so they are awarded a place as one of the noble families and a seat at the Mother Tree Council as well.
I appreciate the rundown. This would be very useful. Well, if you would, please do escort me up to where I'll be sleeping so I can set my supplies down.
I'm afraid I'm in the middle of something, but my daughter Mishia should be able to show you the way.
Wonderful.
And, well, if she's giving you attitude, then just go talk to my son instead. Just kind of chuckles.
All right. Dragon's gonna leave the room.
Good day.
What's so kind of call about right for? It's like, oh, one more thing, real quick.
Yes?
You mentioned that you were mages, correct?
Indeed.
Well, I'm quite a somewhat of a I don't know if I'd say I'm an expert, but I temper on a lot of magic as well. So
I see.
maybe some other time I'd like to pick your brain about a few things.
Suppose that's possible. No, I must say the Venoir family secrets are quite tightly kept.
See,
Doesn't mean we
But-
can't have a cordial conversation, though.
of course. After all, wine does work wonders, doesn't it?
I suppose.
Okay, let's walk out.
Turns back to his work. Out in the hall, Misha just says, what do you say?
He said yes.
Alright,
So
well,
you can feel free to lead us to where we'll be resting.
just upstairs then. And she'll lead you around the hall to a steep-looking staircase that leads up to the second floor. Let me copy all. She leads you to the top of the stairs, where there is a long hallway stretching off to the left and right. She first kind of goes to this door and throws open the twin set of doors and says, "This is my brother's room. The other two beds are empty. My brother's on the far left."
I'm
well-
just gonna walk in and set down his stuff on that bed.
And this is my room again. My other sisters are out, so there's two free beds. Mine's the one on this side. She kind of just points. Can leave your things in the closet if you want. I don't know how much you have to store, but there should be some room.
Look all my damn things.
They took the
Ooh.
only thing that matters, the murder.
They did.
Just put my backpack down here, I suppose.
Once is only dropping like maybe like the tent and stuff.
Yeah.
She points to this closed door here and says, "This here's the bathroom. If you want to draw up a bath, just make sure you knock first."
I suppose we all could use one of those.
Dibs.
You're going now?
Right time is.
Sorry, you
Time
cut
is-
out. What did you say?
Whenever the right time is.
Well, we should be returning here a bit later. I was hoping to speak with the Winnowing family.
Yeah,
But
they're
if you
just-
feel the need to bathe Martos, go ahead.
No, I like nighttime baths. I just have to make sure that I get that shit first.
Go
Yeah,
on.
Winnowing's
Unless
just
the lady likes it.
just north of here by the lake.
Understood.
She kind
Well,
of
thank
moves
you,
out of the way.
Lucia.
She moves out
Thank
of the
you.
way.
You
to
have a lovely home.
Thank you.
happy to help.
That's a fine ass looking house. Mm-mm-mm.
So you make your way back down the wooden stairs, lined with carpet, to the door to the Venoir estate, and Mishia just sort of follows and escorts you out, just kind of waving as you exit the premises.
Joe will just kind of look back and not wave.
doesn't
very
even look back.
enthusiastic way from me.
So we're heading north.
Yes.
So. Oh, Mardos?
Oh, yeah.
I support your romantic endeavors in general, but
No, no. I can look. I cannot touch. My heart still belongs to Blueberry. All right, it's too
Okay.
soon.
Well, you can keep it
Good
with
to know.
Blueberry because if you do have a love interest, we'll have to skip town again.
You know what? I might as well fall in love.
Did you fall in love with the forest god up there?
No.
I'll let you fall in love with that tree.
Is it a nice looking tree?
I don't know. It looks pretty nice. I bet Sibyl knows a lot more about it than I do.
Suppose that a nice looking tree?
I'm sorry.
It's not a nice looking tree.
Is it a nice looking tree?
It's okay.
What are you guys doing back on that other map? What are you up to? All right.
Huh?
Talking about tree loving.
What tree is this?
Trying to gauge how nice this tree looks.
Yeah, it's like an expensive tree, or is it just like a random tree?
Like a normal
That's the
tree.
Expensive, I would say. Hard to say.
Oh man.
But most of the trees around here are pretty nice. They look really healthy. Is the
Yeah.
main thing.
1 million. I don't want it.
You going to
And,
take it with you?
Not
try-
anymore.
Their
Really,
trunks
all
are
the
kind
trees
of
are like it.
their trunks are kind of coated in moss, and the
Ooh.
foliage is quite green.
Ooh, it's soft.
Please, Mardos, I love
Mm.
the idea that the rest of the campaign she's just carrying a whole ass tree.
This is my lover.
You know,
Um,
guys, if we don't end up getting chased off the continent, I think I'd like to stay here in general. It's a very nice place.
This place seems very toxic. I'm good. Good on that.
You couldn't pay me to stay here.
I'm trying to go back
I
home.
would love to stay here.
Not enough meat.
Yeah, I suppose not. Are you gonna
Maybe
be okay
carry
with
on my
that, by the
book.
way?
Yeah, I'll be fine for the time being.
Making your way along this path, you wind your way sort of in between some rock formations, and you find that this path slopes kind of gently downward. Seems like the Venmore estate is kind of on this elevated sort of rock outcropping. And eventually, as you travel, you see that there must be some sort of parting in the foliage of the mother tree in this area, because you kind of are now getting some sunbeams cascading down, and this area is a little bit lighter. But before long, as you travel, you eventually arrive at a smaller looking estate than the others, but no less nice.
I was quite enjoying the shade. It's a little too bright for me here.
Oi.
Why is that, Draven?
Us lunar elves have pale skin, and it tends to burn in the sunlight.
Okay. I thought it was the
I'm-
other thing.
Gonna have to go with you on that one.
Indeed, Sybil, you understand my plight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have pale skin, but I'd rather the dark. Easier to hide.
So this smaller estate is kind of situated right along the shores of a rather large-looking lake that sort of reaches out far beyond it, closer towards the roots of the massive mother tree.
Yeah, alright, well, I guess I'll knock.
Oh,
From behind the door, you hear just sort of a, who is it? As well as footsteps and then eventually the door kind of creaks open, partially, not like a tiny little crack that she's peeking through, but just sort of half open. And you see a slightly pale, black-haired elven woman. A little bit older, but not as old as some of the other heads of the families. And
She's pretty.
she just sort of
Oh,
looks at all of you, just kind of glancing past Draven to see the rest of you, and says, "Hello there. Was there something you needed?"
Yes, if your loved one has been diagnosed with black mold, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
I'm sorry, black mold. What are you talking about?
It's like,
Yes, it's terrible. It's spreading in the forest south of here.
for 5 gold, you can stop this.
Yes, we're taking collections to combat this spread.
She steps back slightly, opening the door a little more, and says, "You all can come in and have a seat if you wish. That all sounds quite serious. In the south of the forest, you say?"
Indeed.
I really wanted to say mesothelioma right there. I can't tell you how bad. Like, I know it wouldn't have made no sense, but I wanted to say it so bad.
Oh, sorry, Sybil, you can sit here. I'll just prop.
no, it's fine. You can sit down.
No, really, I'd rather prop.
If you want more
Okay.
seats, we can go sit out on the dock if you wish.
I'd like that.
Alright. Well, actually, no.
The dock.
Let's stay inside. It's darker in here.
Yeah. Draven likes lurking.
I suppose so.
Ugh, you know what? Actually, let's go outside. It is quite pretty.
Oh.
Draven will just make sure his hood's pulled up very tightly around his head.
All right. She pushes open these doors to reveal a dock beyond. And as you kind of make your way out there, you can see a table with a few more chairs sitting out on the dock. And far beyond it, you can see the roots of the mother tree on the far shore, as well as a statue of a woman that kind of is standing as if standing on top of the water, out a ways from the dock. And as you all make your way out of that door, the woman who you were speaking with just calls kind of back to the other elven woman who is sitting on the couch just reading. Says, Delsona, would you bring them some refreshments? And then heads over here. Now then, was there any other purpose for your visit, or just wishing to warn us of this mold you speak of?
Yes. Well, also wondering if you had seen any suspicious people around in the woods.
Suspicious people.
Possibly,
Or a
Someone-
visitor.
yes, or even a visitor that has come through recently. A woman.
As far as suspicious people in the woods, I don't venture very far outside of the lake house, so I can't really speak of anyone in the woods, but we did have a visitor recently.
Do go on. Please tell us about this visitor. Was it a woman? And where was she coming from? Where was she going to?
Well, she didn't speak much of her business. She simply said that she was a distant cousin of mine. She was definitely elven, long black hair, and she just kind of points to her own features as she's saying this. Pointed ears and long black hair. She points to her own hair. Said her name was Beatrice Wenowin.
You recognize her?
Well, I do have a lot of cousins, and some of them I've never met before. At first I was a little unsure, but she even had the birthmark.
Birthmark. You all have one consistent birthmark?
She just kind of moves her her tunic slightly to show you her collarbone. She's got 3 sequenced tiny little freckles, kind of dark and almost black, placed just along her collarbone in a line. Yes, women of the Wenowen family tend to be born with this birthmark.
That's something a lot of people know.
Not particularly, no. Which is why I believed her. And well, she just wanted to stay for a few days, and that was all. I had a spare room after all.
During this time, did she leave town, or did she stay about the town, or do you know?
It'd be hard for me to say. I was busy with the Mother Tree Council at that point in time, and so I wasn't here much.
Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Draven. What is yours?
My name is Helen Ashtra Wenowen. And the rest of you are?
I'm Sybil.
I make you
Okay.
guys introduce yourself because it gives me time to type out their name.
Nice.
Oh, that's why?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not just Dede. How's that for a name?
Good lord, I typoed that.
Oh.
Again, I can't say I know much of what that my cousin, I suppose, was up to.
Oh.
You could speak with my daughter, though.
All right.
She would have been around the estate a little bit more, so she may have more information.
Do not look like a mother. I mean, in the best possible sense. You looking good. Wink.
Well, thank you, I suppose.
You're welcome.
Us elves age well.
Draven, you did not age very nicely.
You must be old
Do
then.
not insult Ellen.
Oh, how old would Traven? I never thought about that.
Draven's 60. That's why he acts how he does.
You look a little tired.
Listen, I'm going to let all that blow past and not make a comment on any of it. All right, let's speak to her daughter.
Oh,
Oh, this.
speak of the daughter.
Hello.
She brings out sort of a small tray of assorted appetizers and some glasses of wine, and places them down on the table, and just kind of begins to head back towards the house.
Oh, please.
Yes, sorry, was there something not up to your standard?
Well, I haven't tried it yet, but possibly. But unrelated to that, your mother said that you had spoken to Beatrice, her cousin that had stopped by recently. We were just wondering if you had any information on her.
No, she didn't talk much.
And do you know anything she was doing here while she was visiting? Or perhaps her reason for staying, other than that she was family?
Had it out of the house several times. I didn't follow her, though. Just assumed she was headed into town to speak with someone.
About how long ago again was this that she visited?
A couple of weeks.
I see. No further questions.
All right.
I'm gonna check out these appetizers. What am I looking at here?
Various sort of lightly sliced cured meats and cheeses.
Yes. Alright, Draven's gonna eat those and sip the wine.
Right. They've got sort of a salty taste to them. And the wine is very sort of fruity and a little bit perfumey.
Do I even need to say what Wits does?
Do what? What's doing?
Sip on that wine.
You're gonna sip it?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Proud of you.
They're served in sort of these very delicate, long-stemmed glasses. Not your usual flagon of ale.
Wits is gonna discreetly pour like a little bit of his rum into the wine and mix it a little bit.
Okay, Helenestra is sitting across from you, so you're gonna have to make a stealth roll to discreetly do that.
Aw.
She just kind of tilts her head slightly and says, "Oh, is the wine not to your taste?"
No, it's pretty good. You know, I'm just used to a little stronger. You know.
You see her, Draven, Sybil, and Martos, you see her just kind of shoot you guys glances, like, just kind of questioning as if this is normal, trying to gauge your reaction to it.
Let's go with it.
Traven just shrugs.
Very typical.
She kind of just sort of rubs the back of her neck and just goes, all right, I suppose so. I'm sorry I couldn't help you more. Again, I was incredibly busy around that time.
So what's the story of this statue?
Well, it was built quite some time ago by one of my ancestors. It's a statue to the goddess of the sea, Seneschal.
It's really beautiful. Cool
I wanna-
places.
I want to see if Draven would know about that. I mean, he's traveled a bit, but I don't know if he's spoken to anyone who's follower of Seneschal at this time.
Yeah, she's sort of middle-ish in commonness. That's gonna be enough.
Who the hell is that?
Draven walked right by a church of Seneschal and was just like, "That's a weird library." All right, you have not heard of her.
Goddess of the sea, whatever you say.
Are you folk staying in town long then?
Hopefully not.
Oh, is
Well-
For you, I would.
the town not to your liking then?
No,
Oh.
just
I got things I gotta take care of.
I understand.
Oh, they took
I
my
could be
book at the
persuaded
gate.
to stay though.
I see.
really is a beautiful town. So, I'd like to come back someday when we're done with all this.
Indeed, it is a peaceful place.
Yes, hopefully it survives the outbreak of black mold. You know, if you donate gold, we can put an end to it soon.
I'm afraid I don't understand this whole black mold business at all. You should really probably speak with the forest guard. They'd be the ones who'd be able to help you more than I could.
They are aware.
Yes, we
What'd you say,
spoke with them. They said to go around and collect funds.
Mm-hmm. They did.
We
Hang
told
on.
the forest guard. They know. They're doing something about it.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, that's gonna be insufficient.
Yeah.
She kind of gives you a bit of a side eye as you say that you're collecting funds, and then focuses a little more on what Sybil said and says, "Yes, I imagine the forest guard should have it under control, and well, if you lot are here in town to help them, then should have all the resources you need."
They're suspect. They are looking for someone who was female, who was doing this. So, I suppose if they come by, it might be a good idea to tell them what you told us.
I
I
see.
guess we'll tell them as well next time we see them.
I see. I'll do that.
Oh,
You spend some time just kind of eating the appetizers and drinking your wine in the pleasant environment of the docks of the Winnowin Lake House.
So, like, is this a pretty big lake, or is it kind of small?
Nowhere near the size of the Inner Sea.
Gotcha.
It's not necessarily small, but you can definitely see the other side of it. And it'd take maybe, I don't know, 20-ish minutes to row across.
Gotcha. So what do you do in this lake? Mostly just fish, row about.
Well, my eldest daughter, Delsana, likes to go rowing from time to time. And occasionally,
I see.
we'll fish. We have visitors over who like to see the scenery as well from the other noble houses.
I wouldn't mind fishing here before we leave town.
I suppose that would be possible.
Driven's gonna finish up eating the appetizers and drink the last of his wine.
All right. You all sort of do so. You finish up polishing off most of the appetizers. She sort of stands and begins to kind of clean up, placing some of the glasses back on the tray, and just says, "I suppose you all have business to take care of. I'll handle the tray out here if you want to see yourselves out."
All right. Thank you for the hospitality.
thank you very much.
Yes, happy to
Says-
provide. Do come back if you need anything else, or if you want to go fishing, I suppose. You make your way back into the lake house itself, where the daughter who you spoke to before is just kind of sitting quietly by the fire reading. But as you kind of make your way to the door, you hear a sound from the staircase, and it's just a quiet little psst, psst, trying to get your attention.
Hey, that's my line.
Uh,
Runs in there.
Oh my god.
No, it's an emo elf.
That's what you love.
and as you look up the stairs, you can see just kind of sitting on some of the top steps, a dark-haired, pale-skinned, quite young elven girl, who's just kind of motioning to you and going, "Hey, come over here. I want to talk to you."
Okay.
And as you begin to walk up the stairs, she kind of turns and makes her way up the stairs, just kind of giving you a quick motion to follow. And so you follow her up the stairs into the upper floor of the Winnowin Lake House, and that's where we'll end our session for today.
Nice.
Because we're already 15 minutes over.
I got the elven shut-in living on the second story.
Yes, basically yes.
Love
Yeah.
it.
God.
We go into her room, it's just anime posters all over the place.
That joke will be more funny next week.
Oh
Oh,
god.
man. You're
Gonna
kidding when
home-
they said that, I
homebrew
guess.
anime.
Loving these
Ooh.
Elven City maps, by the way.
Yeah, they look good.
Thanks, yeah.
They're
They
nice.
I wanted the Sindriel to look beautiful, basically.
Yeah, we look extremely out of place here.
Ridiculously.
Mm.
Uh,
Witch thinks it's pretty, but he doesn't like being here. He hates nobles.
Would Draven recognize this architecture, Jay? Like the style, the building styles and everything?
um,
He would
yeah,
have only seen like wood elf stuff in like Averland.
yeah, it's definitely elven basically. Like elven architecture kind of does have this through line no matter if they're wood elves or not.
Mhm.
And a lot of places you go throughout the Elder you'll see a lot of different elven architecture. So you definitely sort of recognize some of the hallmarks of elven architecture, a very kind of ornate look to things, rather than the more pragmatic dwarven or human architecture. But there seems to be more of a focus on wood than the other elven architecture you might have seen. Pretty much everything is carved from wood.
Gotcha.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Well, okay, I was gonna ask, but I figured we weren't gonna run it back, even if I did get my way on it. But I realized that like right after we got our weapons taken away when we switched maps. But how did he notice that Wits had a book?
Um, well, I specified that he's got a different accent than everybody else. Um, it's part of his backstory. He knows what he's talking about.
He just knew.
He's
oh.
been through this before, Wits. Come on.
Okay, well, how did he know Wits in particular? Like, was it?
Because
Like...
you a wizard. Look at you. You scream
Yeah,
wizard.
He does not look like a
No
wizard. He looks like
armor.
a rogue.
No.
Actually,
Draven.
he looks
Draven,
like a
maybe.
merchant.
You do. That's why you're a wizard.
Wandering around with like a party of people in like full
Demons.
armor and Mardos with her axe and her like thing. Yeah, I don't think he was gonna steer a wizard. A merchant.
Oh, also speaking of armor, I didn't realize until like 2 days ago that Wits can't wear armor unless without getting a disadvantage on basically every roll.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's
Unless
why
if I pick the feat that gives it, because he doesn't have proficiency in light armor.
that's why wizards stand far away from things.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to, I could pick up the feat next level for it, but probably
Yeah,
not.
it's mostly not worth your time with the build you
Yeah.
have. Use better
That's rough.
things you can get that help you do what you do better, rather than trying to kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah, you can always just pop, was it mage armor or some type of defensive spell like
Or just
mirror images.
turn invisible and run away.
Yeah,
Or
things
that.
like that will probably suit you further than trying to half spec into armor stuff.
I had only thought about it until like this level because I was like, damn, I really can't even do a 1v1. But I think we're good now.
I mean, your character can control like multiple enemies at once, though, with your illusion. So I wouldn't worry so much about a 1v1.
Yeah, don't worry about 1v1. Whenever you're forced into a situation where it's 1v1, you should basically just look at your party members and just be like, yeah, come save me. Because that's
Yeah.
their job. It's
Yeah.
not your job to 1v1 enemies.
Oh yeah,
That
well,
is
see,
literally our
that
job.
was the plan until what was it when we fought York, and then I was like,
Help.
everyone's busy. I'm like, all right, I will wait.
Well, like, so my argument for that was I didn't see what was going on because that wall like separated us.
Oh yeah, it was no worries. I mean now at this level, I can actually get away from that situation, but
Yeah.
or somewhat fight if I really wanted to, but I don't know. I like the idea of this turning invisible. That's actually what I considered doing the second those elves came out, was just turn invisible. I feel
my
like
God.
they would have been like, that's sus.
Who's right there?
A little
That would
bit.
have been
Somebody
an
just
entertaining
vanished.
sight.
Just it wouldn't even be. It'd be just like, remember like at one of those earlier, or it was like the third session or something. Whenever Draven was trying to stealthily walk when we got to Bogrest, and he rolled like a low stealth roll, so he just kind of like creepily walked and stepped on a stick. That's exactly what Witch would have looked like, except he would have just like wide-eyed look at the nearest elf, and then just pop, gone.
And then they immediately cast fairy fire where you disappeared and you just start glowing like green or something.
Oh my god. I've just been dying to use invisibility since I got it.
It's a very useful spell.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Well, once that family that we're living with, once I learned they were mages, I'm like, well, looks like I can't turn invisible to steal their alcohol.
God.
That's what I was gonna do, but if they're mages, they're probably gonna see through that.
Did you get the reference with the Kalmar family, Luna?
It sounded familiar. I wasn't sure though. Was that from? Wait, is it an outside reference or is it something from something we've done?
It's from the Crows.
God, I'd have to check my notes, dude. I got so much D&D in the brain.
It's Irendar's family.
Okay, Irndar was the blonde-haired, fancy-looking elf dude.
Yeah,
Right?
he said he was
Yeah,
from
okay.
overseas.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I just didn't remember that name.
And they mentioned that they only had one empty bed because the youngest son was away at school.
Ah, okay. I appreciate that. That will tie in.
Right. I am starving. I'm leaving.
All right. Yeah, I'm wrapping up the stream anyway. So, thanks for everybody who was watching live. Thanks for anyone who's watching the VOD. We got links to the Discord, links to the World Anvil if you want to learn more about the world itself. You can follow my Twitter if you want stream times. Check out the VOD channel on YouTube. It's just Grand Lorian like everything else if you want to search it up, but there's a link as well in my about section for archive stuff if you miss a stream and want to go back and check out an old session. Yeah. Other than that, take care. I'm going to make an announcement as to whether or not we're starting up Seas of Sand again on Friday. We're very close, but there's just one thing that I don't know if it'll happen or not. And if it happens, then we can start. If it doesn't, then we have to push it. It'll probably happen, but I'm still waiting. So I'll probably make an announcement either tomorrow or relatively early Friday as to whether or not it's happening. But looking forward to getting Seas of Sand back up. And then the other thing that I've already announced on Twitter and the Discord, but I might as well say it here. The first session of Silversong is this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So look forward to that. Tune in live if you want to see a brand new section of the world.
It's a great group's going to be playing that campaign too, so definitely don't miss it.
They are.
Oh, sorry. What time is that again?
7 p.m. Eastern on Monday.
Okay.
And it'll be recurring on every Monday. But again, if you miss it, the VODs are there. So don't sweat not being able to make things live. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So have a good night and take care.
Bye.